The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing today? I could just get a quick audio and video check. Let me know that I'm coming through loud and clear and you can hear me and see my screen. That would be great. If you can just type it there in the box and let me know. All right, Jonathan, thank you very much. Hey, Ron, how you guys doing? Appreciate you guys joining us here on this Thursday afternoon. Hope you guys have had a great trading morning and a great trading week. Had some great moves in the market this week. And appreciate you being here with us as we continue on with our Nadex application and strategy webinar series. Today we're going to talk a little bit about trading stock index morning breakouts with Nadex. So if you were with us over the past couple weeks, talked a little bit about trading some markets around strong levels and looking for chop and some battles there around those strong levels. And we're going to kind of apply that same theory and some of those same strategies to some breakouts, and we'll cover some levels again and some different ways that you can use it. But let's go ahead and get our disclosures knocked out here so we can get moving forward. As always, trading futures, options, or any financial instrument involves risk, may not be suitable for every investor. Also, guys, any examples used here, like in this webinar today or any webinar, if you see me going through the Nadex platform and opening an order ticket and placing an order in a demo account, that is strictly me trying to visually help you see the strategy that I'm teaching you and visually help you see how to use the Nadex platform, how to use the ticket extension. It's in no way a recommendation or trading advice. And as always, past performance is not indicative of future results. Any info here in this webinar is for informational and educational purposes only. So, speaking of Nadex, if you're brand new, let's hop right on over here to nadex.com real quick. And basically, if you're brand new to Nadex, Nadex offers two different products. Okay, they offer, well, give me just a second here. Having a little trouble on my screen here. All right. Basically, Nadex offers two different products, okay? They offer binary options and spread options. And you can go through right here, these two tabs, get some great information about the two different products there as far as what they are and how they work. Something I have to give Nadex a lot of credit for is they do a great job at providing a lot of free tools and free education to their members. Right up here, you can go under market news, get some great insight there as to some things that are going on with the market, some things to be aware of, maybe some good things to give yourself some trade ideas for the day or for the week. Right here under trading platforms, you can go right here directly to the online Nadex trading platform. Otherwise, here they have a great mobile app for your Android smartphone. But right here under demo trading platform. And if any of you do not already have a demo account with Nadex, go ahead and get one right now. Even while we're on this webinar, it'll just take you a quick minute. It might help you follow along with us. All you got to do is fill out your name, email, and choose a username, and fill out the rest of this info and hit submit. And then in just a few moments, you'll get an email from Nadex with a temporary password, and that will allow you to log right into the Nadex demo account. Okay, and I'm sorry guys, having a little trouble with my screen here. And Nadex will give you a free $25,000 demo account. All right, and it's a great place to get familiar with Nadex, get familiar with the platform, the different products they offer, different expirations and contracts. Great way to practice entering and exiting orders, and the perfect place to practice any new strategy or system that you're trying to master. Right, if you're trying to master something new, even, for example, the strategy I'm going to show you today on this webinar, you don't want to jump right off the webinar and jump right into trading it with your live money. You want to practice it in demo, get it down in demo, make any mistakes in demo, master it and be profitable in demo, and then move on over to your live account from there. So it's a great place to practice. Once again, a great free tool that Nadex provides for you. So definitely make sure to take advantage of that. Also over here, back to the Nadex platform, I want to bring your attention up to this one other tab right here, the Learning Center. Some great stuff in here. You've got some videos, trade examples. right here under webinars, if you click this, this will show you any upcoming webinars that you can see the titles and the dates. That way you can get signed up and registered for those. And once you're registered, you'll get reminder emails of them. But if you've missed, maybe this is your first time on with us, maybe you've been with us before, and yes, today's webinar is being recorded. And if you've missed any of the past recordings as well, if you go right here to Webinar Archive, and then right here, Filter by Presenter, you just got to click this little drop-down box, find us right here, Apex Investing Institute, and you can go back and watch all of our previous recorded webinars. Okay, so like today, we're not going to be spending, any time really on the basics, the basics of a binary, the basics of a spread. This webinar kind of presumes that you have that information and that you already know that. If you don't, if any of this is over your head today and you're brand new, just try to stick through it with us, and you can go back here into this archive and you can find everything from the very basics. We normally cycle back through every few months. We kind of like to start with the basics of, what is a binary? What is a spread? How do they work? And we kind of, hold your hand and walk you through the basics. And then we build from there about choosing the right ones. What are some top mistakes? How to trade them in different markets. So you really have a, full circle course here that you can go through and catch up on anything you might have missed. Okay. So once again, major kudos to Nadex for all the free tools and free education that they provide their members. And that's what we're here for, okay? My name is John Skelton. I'm with Apex Investing. Apex and Nadex, two complete separate companies. Nadex is an exchange. Apex, we're an online education company. We're a group of traders helping traders. We've got over 25,000 members. We have, live trade rooms. We have indicators and strategies and systems. And a lot of our strategies and systems focus on risk management and probability. That's why we love the capped risk products of Nadex. And we're traders just like you. Yes, we're the Nadex education. We're a Nadex education partner. We do these webinars for them. But we're traders just like you. And that's what we're here for, just to teach you a little bit about who and what is Nadex, show you some of the ways that we trade and take advantage of the capped risk products of Nadex, and help give you some ideas how you can as well. Okay. I've been with Apex now myself for about 4 years as head of operations. I've got a background as a licensed stockbroker and in the banking industry. I'm an educator and once again, a trader just like you. So let's hop right in. Today's subject, trading stock index morning breakouts with Nadex. We want to talk a little bit about why do markets move at these times of the morning, show you a couple different ways to, determine some breakouts and what to look for in the mornings on these. All right. So I've already showed you where you can go back and get information on the basics and past webinars to make sure you have that foundation. So we're going to jump right in here. So let's talk a little bit about indices. When I say indices, what do I mean? Well, I'm talking about a stock index. Okay. So let's go here to the Nadex platform and let's go right up here to Nadex or indice binaries. And let's check out the list that we have here. These bottom four right here. Okay, well, let's just start from the top. We've got the China 50, we've got the, excuse me, the London, the FTSE 100, the German, the FDAX. We've got the Japanese Nikkei. So these first four here are international, overseas indices. Okay, these bottom four here are some U.S. indices. All right, we've got the U.S. Tech 100, which is a derivative of the NASDAQ, got the US 500, which is a derivative of the S&P, got the Small Caps 2000, which is a derivative of the RTY, the Russell, and we got the Wall Street 30, which is a derivative of the Dow. All right, so we're going to mainly be talking about these bottom four today, the US indices. All right, but you do also have some of these overseas stock indexes as well. So, for example, when we talk about morning breakouts, all right, what we're talking about is, for the U.S. session here, we're talking about the New York morning session, all right, when trading opens, when the pits open, as it were, okay? Now, also, you've got, the Japanese and the China indices, in the evenings, and then you've got some of these overseas European and London ones for overnight. So we're mainly going to be talking about the U.S. Open here. But you do have, the evening Asian session open as well as the London session. Okay. And so you've got not just binaries, but spreads as well on both of those, on all those as well, right? We've got the indice binaries, and here we've got the indice spreads, all right, on most of those same markets. So whether you're trading, binaries or spreads or both, you do have options available to you there with multiple expirations, multiple different contracts to choose from, and different ways to trade, different instruments to trade the opens and breakouts and the strategy that I'm going to show you here today. Okay, so when we say open, that's what I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about the U.S. markets, the early morning, 9:30 pit open, as it were, and that is when all the traders, retail and institutional traders are all, actively trading. You're not going to see as much movement on some of these U.S. indices at, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, usually, as you are going to see at open oftentimes, okay? And so why can the markets potentially move there? Why is there a potential breakout around open? Okay, well, it's because all of those traders are coming in, all of that volume's coming in, and sometimes the market can open up and just chop around. Sometimes it can be very volatile. Sometimes it can shoot straight up in trends. So, how can you take advantage of that? I've talked to a lot of people that say, hey, I've always tried to trade the open or trade in the morning, right after open, and take advantage of those good moves, because those good moves can give me, a great return on a Nadex spread or a Nadex binary. But I can't ever figure out how to do it because I'm watching it and I see the market break out long, for example, and it shoots way up. And then I'm waiting because I want a little more confirmation that the market's really going up. And then I'm about to enter an order, but then I wait and I hesitate. And then I see it's going up a little bit more. And then I decide to go ahead and get in. But then 90% of the time, I got in at the top. Like I got in when the move was over. If I could just figure out how to get in earlier, that would be a great situation for me. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit. So one of the things that I like to do in the mornings, all right, is, and let me pull up a chart here. Let's look at this a little bit more visually here. All right, so one of the things I like to do in the mornings is to take a look at what has the market done overnight, okay? Because what you'll often see is sometimes in the morning, you'll be able to easily spot these breakouts, okay? And you'll be able to easily spot kind of where you want to draw your chop box. And what do I mean by a chop box? I'm going to show you that, all right? One of the first things that I like to do in the mornings is to see what has the market done overnight, okay? Now, this is not always 100% consistent, but what I kind of see as far as setting my expectations is if the market has, been chopping and kind of been in a range situation for most of the evening or most of the overnight session, well, I'm normally going to look for it to break out a little bit quicker after open. Okay, but oftentimes if you see that the market has made major moves and major trends overnight, you might find that chop area in the morning lasts a little bit longer, all right? And you might not have a breakout right away at open. You might have to wait a little bit longer for it. You might even experience a few kind of fake breaks there as well that you have to be aware of, okay? And we're going to show you how to spot some of those. But here's a great example right here. And what I'm going to do on this chart, and we'll dig in a little bit more so you understand this clear. But notice on this chart here, what is the time frames here? We're about 5:15 in the morning here, then we're about 8 o'clock, about 9:30 open. Do you see what the market's doing right in here? Do you see it right here around this red, level here? Do you see it's just kind of chopping around? See that? If I go in here and I just even draw a little box around it, okay? All right, I can see where it's chopping. All right, or I can even bring my box in a little bit tighter into the chop. So that's kind of the range and the box that the market's been trading in, and I'm going to be looking for a breakout of that. Okay, and we see that that's the area the market's been hesitating in, and once it breaks out from that, does a little pullback, and it shoots quite a bit, quite a ways up here. I mean, let's take a look here what we're talking about. We've got from 68.99 all the way up here to 69.17, a good 18 points there. All right, which is, close to 60 ticks. And then the market continues to shoot up from there. We can also look forward here and see other times of hesitation, okay? And other times where the market's kind of working in a chop zone here, right? Or what about up here? See how the market's making up close bars and down close bars and up close bars. See these areas of congestion here where the market's trading, and then it'll make a breakout, okay? Over here is another perfect example, of a market in a range, okay, and then a breakout, okay? Here's actually a kind of a little bit wider range right here, even around this level. See this blue level here, okay? Kind of in a range, fighting back and forth, and then a breakout. Guys, you can spot these kind of all day long here and see as the market's, what the market's doing here, okay? So let's talk a little bit about once we identify those levels, and I'll show you a little bit more, some ways that we identify them. Let me show you how we, try to take advantage of these, all right, and how we look to trade these, all right, in these morning breakouts. And guys, this webinar is titled The Breakouts of the Indices. And again, we're talking mainly about the U.S. indices. You've got the Asian and European, but you can also look at this same strategy on forex. You can look at the same strategy on commodities in the morning as well, all right? So we talked a little bit about drawing the chop boxes, how to identify some of these levels. I'm going to show you a few easier ways here that we use as well here in just a few moments. So let's take a quick look here. If you were with us last week or the week before, we talked about this same exact strategy, and we talked about it more, not so much about morning breakouts, but more just any time of the day at levels. All right, and we talked about why levels are so important and so strong. All right, on this particular chart here, we've got settlement, and we've also got our diagnostic deviation levels. All right, well, when you have these levels of importance, in whatever type of levels you're using, whether it's deviation levels or support and resistance levels, whatever they may be, levels are very important. All right, because levels can be an area of importance where there could be a battle taking place. All right, the market sometimes, if there's enough volume, will blow right through that level. Okay, other times that's an area to look for a reversal. Other times that's where the market will start to hesitate. There'll be a little bit of battle, a little bit of chop. All right, and a lot of traders look at chop as a bad thing. Oh, chop is the killer. Chop is what will get you. You can't make money if it's a chopping day, or you can't be profitable if it's a chopping day. You just got to stay out of the market. Well, we look at it actually the exact opposite, okay? We look at it for we're actually seeking out chop, and we're not looking to trade into chop, all right, and be chopped around. We're looking for this chop as an area of congestion, okay? As an area of buildup, as an area of accumulation, all right? And I mean, think about it, guys. When you're entered, longer term trading and investing is one thing, but when you're trading intraday and you're only wanting to trade shorter periods of time and take advantage of quick moves, doesn't it make sense that, when you're trading, you're trying to spot these areas? Because what they are is, just imagine a water hose, okay? You have your water hose on full blast and it's shooting out water. What happens when you kink that hose? Well, you start to get a buildup. You start to get a buildup of pressure, right? And then when you let go of that kink, it just shoots out and takes off, right? Well, that's what we're looking at with these breakout areas, with these areas of congestion and chop. All right, it's the market building, right? It's the market movers, accumulating contracts, building their inventory and ready to break out. So if you're an intraday trader and you're only looking to trade a short period of time, it makes a lot of sense to try to find the areas of congestion that are about to be breakouts, right? It makes sense to want to really focus in and find the kinks in the hose and be ready for it to bust out. Okay, so that makes perfect sense, right? So that's step one. But from there, it's like, okay, well, that's great, John, but even if I can spot these, how can I spot them easily? Maybe I'm a little bit newer to trading, and, how do I define chop? How do I spot chop? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'll show you some ways that we identify it very easily. But then for two, how do I take advantage of that? How do I know which way it's going to go from there? How can I put all the probabilities in my favor to identify the direction? All right, because that's what trading is all about. Is you want to put all the probabilities in your favor. So let's take a look here at this chart. So we see this level right here of settlement. And we see as the market came into settlement here, okay? And notice the time here, right around open, 9:30. See that? So we see that the market has been trading in this zone, okay? It comes up, it comes down. See right here, this low point it made? We've got a couple up close bars, some down close bars, right to about the same level, up and down. It's not really breaking out of this box area. All right. See how the chop stays between these levels here and in this box. Like I was talking to you about, kind of drawing a box around it. Help yourself visualize it on the chart. Where is the market at? Where's the market trading? Where are the levels here? All right, because if you can identify that area, then you can identify when the market breaks out of that area. All right, you've probably heard a lot about breakout trading. Okay, well, any of you that have tried breakout trading, what is your number one frustration? You might say, hey, I've gotten really good at identifying chop. I've gotten really good at identifying, these congestion areas. I've gotten really good at drawing my box, so I can clearly see when the market breaks. But what is your biggest issue with that? What is the biggest thing that hits you in being a breakout trader? Anybody tell me? Exactly, fake breakouts. Okay, let's take a look at one right here on the chart. Well, the market's trading in this zone. We've got our box, and right here as it pushed down, see this push down? It didn't go real far. See this push down? Couldn't really break it. This down close bar couldn't break it. What happens here? The market starts to push down, and what does it do? It breaks the zone, right? It breaks our chop box. It breaks our levels. So what are you thinking? You're thinking, all right, the market's been playing in this box for the last 6 hours. We're, at about 9:50, just after open, things are starting to move. Now we're going to get a break, right? Now we're going short. The market's taking a short. We're finally breaking out, and I've done such a great job at identifying this level. I clearly see right here that it broke out. So I'm going to enter an order to go short, right? And then as soon as I enter to go short, and the market goes against me the other way. Show of hands, raise your hands if this has ever happened to you. You put all your pieces together and all your little boxes together and all your analyzation together. You see a market breaking out, and you enter your order, and then boom, it says, nope, that was a fake break. We're going the other way. How many of you have ever had that happen? You all have, right? We've all had it happen. So, identifying the level, identifying the chop, identifying the breakout, how can we have a better determination of the true direction and to keep us from some of these fake breaks? All right, well, let me talk to you about one of our Apex proprietary indicators that you see right here, okay? On the bottom of this chart here. It's called a VAD. VAD stands for volume, accumulation, and distribution. All right, now some of you may look at that indicator and say, oh, that's just, a volume up down type, indicator. Well, no, this indicator is not measuring just the volume of each individual bar, okay? It's more of like a trend volume indicator. It's measuring the accumulated volume in the trend. Notice as the market was coming down here, you see the volume accumulating. You see these bars building, right? As the market's coming up here, this trend here, okay, is the accumulated total volume of that trend. You see it building here. Okay. Then you've got a down close bar. We've got, the volume of that. So it's measuring the total volume of the trend. It's helping us to see the strength of the trend, the strength in the market during that push. All right. So let's take a look at that here. All right, and see how that helps us. Well, as the market made its way up here, and then it makes its push down. Okay. Notice in this down move, the accumulation of the total volume here. All right, we see it started here and it came to here. Okay. Then we have a couple of bars that close up, and we see the volume in that little move up. Then look at this next push down. So notice in this push down, the market came even lower than it did here, right? It made a lower low. It pushed down a little further, but look at the volume level. So it went even further on less volume, okay? Kind of like it's losing steam there. And so we see the market chopping around from there. So if we see that while the market's operating and chopping in this box, okay, we see that within this box, okay, not when the market just first came in it, but within this box, this push down to the downside was the biggest push within the box. You see that? So you notice this push down wasn't quite as much. Now this downward push here that breaks out, if we're going to take a breakout trade, do we want to take a breakout trade on weakness or a breakout trade on strength? I mean, if we're going to go in and actually risk live money and take this trade, we have all these other pieces in place, the levels, the chop, the box, and the breakout. Well, what's kind of the final piece here? I mean, wouldn't we want to see this breaking out on more volume than we've seen previously in the box? Because look what happens when it breaks out and it's not exceeding that volume. See what happens here? It goes just a little bit and then nope, it goes the other way. All right, let me stop right there. Can everybody see that? Without having to go through some long hours and hours of, training on that. Is that pretty visible here? Are there any questions just on that? Anyone not understand that part right there? Can you clearly see that that breakout was not on any extra volume than there was back here? Pretty clear? So when there's not that extra strength in this breakout, look what happens. The market goes right back the other way. All right, take a look at this screenshot here because I'm just about to scroll to the next part of the chart. What do we see right here? It's the same chart, just a little bit later. Look what happens. Here's your fake break, okay? Then the market goes the other way. And look what's happening as the market is building in this direction. And then right here, when the market gets past the top of this box, see that? When it breaks past the top of the box, where is your accumulated volume here? Can you clearly, easily see? I mean, I've got a line drawn right here. You see these within the box. You see the push of volume to the upside. Is it clearly breaking and exceeding back here? That's pretty easy and clear and simple to see, isn't it? It's very simple. And then look what happens. When the market breaks that zone it was trading in with a lot of extra volume, where does it go? Takes off, right? All right, can everybody see that? Any questions on that particular example right there? So what could we have done here in this situation? Well, when we see this breakout of the level with the exceeding volume, okay, I'd be looking to enter a long position when the market breaks, just a few ticks above this box here. So what are my options here? Well, I could have taken a Nadex spread, all right? I could have taken a Nadex binary, either one. If I was looking at binaries, for example, I could have taken a, an out of the money binary, something lower priced and lower risk. And maybe I would have been looking to target this level, this next big level up here. All right, the half deviation. So I could have looked for an out of the money binary up here at the next level, because where do I expect, if the market's breaking out, of course we never know exactly where that breakout will hit some hesitation or will it end, but where is the most likely spot for us to target? This next big level, right? So I could have looked to, look for some out of the money binaries up here. Anywhere from $15 to $30, say. Okay? And I could have also, what's another option? Well, right at the breakout here, I could have looked at an at the money binary, priced approximately around $50, right? Going, for a 1-to-1 type reward ratio there. I could have also looked at an in the money binary, trying to get a strike down here closer to the bottom of the box to give myself a little bit of room, a little bit of insurance, right? Again, one of the great things about Nadex is they have different options there. Different spreads with floor and ceilings, different spreads with expiration, longer or shorter expirations. Same with binaries. I've got multiple expirations to choose from, and I could have done an in the money, at the money, or out of the money, just depending on, what exact strategy or time frame I'm looking at, and my, account balance and risk to reward tolerance. So I've got several different options there. All right. Let's take a look at another example here. Kind of same situation, but with a little bit of a hiccup. Okay. So the market is right here. Okay. Right around open. Remember, we're talking about open. See here? About 9. We're looking at 920 to 945 just in this area here. And we're right here close to this negative one deviation level, and we've got the market trading in this range, kind of chopping around in this range here. And I've got my box, right? Well, notice on the accumulated volume here, what happens right here? It breaks, right? The volume here is higher than the volume back here. So I'm thinking, okay, well, this would be showing me that it's breaking out, right? But remember what I told you, I'm not looking to get into a trade here potentially until the market has broken, let's say, 3 ticks outside of the chop box. And did the market do that? So my volume showed higher, right? So I'm getting excited thinking, oh, okay, but I'm not going to just enter an order just yet, right? Because I need it to break. And it didn't quite break right there, did it? It pulled back up, and then it came on down. And when it broke here and broke a few ticks outside, then the market here started building, and we took it down. Okay, you see that? So once again, I have the same type of options there. I can look at my options for Nadex spreads. I can look to target an out of the money binary down here closer to this next level as my target, and still be looking to go for a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio with that. Let's say I had taken a risk of about $25, $30 on an out of the money binary. Well, I could enter that trade and immediately set a take profit order, at 50 or 60. All right, to double my money there. 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Or at the exit there, I could have looked at the money binaries, approximately around $50. Or if I want to give myself a little bit more room, a little extra insurance, I could try to find an in the money binary with a strike up closer to the top of the box. Again, Nadex offers me all of those options there. Okay, guys, any questions about the basics of what I'm showing you here with this strategy? Any questions on the levels or the chop box, or how to clearly, easily read and see, the volume breaks here? Any questions at all? Okay, perfect. So even though we're talking mainly about morning breakouts of the indices with this particular strategy, once again, it can be used at levels, it can be used at breakouts that can be used pretty much any time of the day. And, like I told you, it makes just complete sense when you're a day trader to look for these areas of congestion, because normally after these areas of congestion, if they're combined with this building of volume, that's when you have the burst. And that's when you can take advantage of these quick moves with the Nadex products. I mean, let's just give you a quick example here again. I mean, I showed you this chart earlier here, identifying some of these levels of congestion, and then you can see the breakouts. Okay, and again, it just makes sense with shorter term trading that's a huge area that you want to be paying attention to is when you see those areas of congestion. All right, I mean, here's just several more. We can go on and on. And, one of the other ways that we like to quickly identify them, okay, and I just want to show you this to give you an idea to really see that it's not just about morning breakouts, but you will see these type of situations all throughout the day. All right, and in different markets as well. Let me just clear something off here. This is another, let me just clear this off real quick here. All right, these are some special Apex proprietary bars and charts here, and this is one of the ways that we utilize these to see these areas. Okay, these bars plot a little bit differently than some of the other bars I've shown you. What we're looking for kind of real quick on these bars is, notice here, like you've got down close bars, here's you've got up close bars, but notice when we've got like a down close and up close and down close and up close, 4 bars together. See how they kind of make that pattern? All right, if I can easily go in and spot and count to 4 and see that, all right, that helps me identify a level of chop, an area of congestion, all right, that I might not see as clearly on the other chart. And then after those areas of congestion, I've got a breakout move, right? Or what about down here? Okay, when I see them all together like that, I can easily spot that, and then there's a breakout. All right, you can see that over and over again when there's areas of congestion like that. This chart makes it pretty simple to kind of spot that and draw that and then look for the breaks. All right, when I see multiples of them here, this one kind of turned out to be a little bit, wider of a chop area here, or bigger chop area here. Notice that. And then, what do I have? I've got a really good break to the short side here. All right, so this is just one of the ways that we easily spot these throughout the day, and you can see them. And guys, not only just on the indices, not only just on morning breakouts, but you can see the same type of situation with forex as well. All right, I mean, here's pound dollar. Okay, and when we see these areas of congestion, we can watch one of the other charts for the volume for the breakouts. Okay, when we see areas of congestion, we can see a breakout, and that's pound dollar. We can look at euro dollar. The point is, these type of trade setups happen all day long and all the time on indices, forex. You can use it for commodities. Sets up for a ton of trades that are pretty easy to spot, with very simple to spot, and with very simple rules in order to take advantage of the Capturist products with Nadex to trade them. Okay. All right, guys. Any questions on that basic strategy or system that I showed you there? All right, great. Well, guys, I appreciate your time today. Make sure to visit the nadex.com and check out the webinar schedule for upcoming webinars. Also, hop on over and visit us at apexinvesting.com. If you have any other questions that we can help you with as well, we're happy to help direct you to the right place. We have a ton of free education over there, step-by-step training courses on Nadex binaries and spreads, several different strategies and systems you can check out, news calendars, free deviation levels to help you spot some of these levels we talked about. We'll show you how to get, free charting platform and data to view those as well. And we got, Nadex, we have binary and spread scanners to help you find the best contracts easily for you. And any questions we can help you with at all, we're happy to do so. All right, guys, thank you very much for your time today and for your feedback. Get signed up for the next upcoming webinar, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much.